This was our project at the end of the last video. We had added an RX6600 graphics card to the Maker Beam frame and interfaced it to the Odroid with a PCIe board, connecting to the M2 slot on the underside of the Odroid motherboard. The Odroid itself is mounted above the graphics card with a Noctua cooling fan, and with its operating system installed on an SSD connected via one of the SATA ports. Our task for today is to mount the power supply that will supply all the power needed by the graphics card in the lower section of the Maker Beam frame. This is the HDPlex 500W power supply that we're going to fit. I have already connected two of the modular cables. The ATX 24-pin cable, which will plug into the interface board, and the PCIe power cable, which will connect to the graphics card itself. The PSU also has a connector to allow it to take mains power via an adapter. We will be fitting the PSU into the lower half of the Maker Beam frame. Looking at the space we have available, there is probably only one orientation that will work. And this is it. Sliding the power supply in from the side, and we're going to mount this against the Maker Beam frame. The power supply comes with fitting screws to allow you to fasten it to a backplate. So we're going to run two horizontal Maker Beam struts and connect these to the PSU using brackets. This will give us the flexibility to easily adjust the vertical mounting position. More than enough screws are provided for what we need to do, so we will speed through the mounting of the PSU to the Maker Beam struts. So now that one strut is attached, we merely need to do the same for the second, and then we can fit it into the rack. With both struts now attached, we need to make some adjustments to the existing frame to allow this assembly to be bolted into place. We can do this by adding some right angle brackets to both the frame and the PSU assembly. So we will speed through this section. One of the advantages of using Maker Beam for these prototype designs is that it is easier to rebuild your case when required. With the PSU assembly in place, we just need to tighten up the bolts and we are ready to start connecting the cables. Now you can see the PSU in place in the lower half of the frame. There are now three cables to connect. The 24-pin ATX power cable to the PCIe interface board, the PCIe power cable to the GPU, and finally the mains connector, which we will bolt into the frame. Thankfully, cable routing isn't going to be too much of a problem today, although it can be challenging in small form factor builds. That's our 24-pin connector successfully seated, and the GPU power connector. For the mains power connector, we will need to add a mounting bracket to secure the connector to the frame. We'll speed through this part as it's similar to mounting options we have used in previous videos. Now that the mains connector is mounted, the power supply fitment has been completed. There's a little bit of cable tidying to be done, and a power switch will need to be added to the Odroid. In addition, I want to put the Odroid power connector at the back of the frame with the mains connection. But next we'll be powering up the computer and seeing how well the GPU operates in this configuration. However, we'll leave that for the next video. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.